Hello everyone, good evening. So people are still joining. So we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start. Okay. So please bear with me. We'll wait for 1 hour, 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so we'll start now. Okay, give me +1 if you can hear me and see my screen. So today, yes, thank you. So today we are going to start the session with this problem. Okay. So we will go through the problem statement. We'll try to understand how to do it and what is required to do it. Okay. So let us go through the problem. We will use our 6 pointers, 6 points that we use, 6 statements or 6 rules that we use to solve any question. Okay. So let us read the problem together. What it says is, given a positive integer n, a positive integer n will be given to us. Generate the following format. Suppose n is 3, then the format is like this: 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. So basically there is a space printed here, and then these numbers are printed. Okay. So seems to be a loop kind of, right? Something is printed multiple times, isn't it? So are you getting it? So if n is 3, so we need to print the pattern like this. Okay. One line containing positive integer denoting n. So input will be one line containing like this, and expected output will be like this: 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Are you able to understand the problem? Is the problem clear to you? Any doubt here in the problem? Right? No problem, no doubt, right? Any problem, you can any doubt you can ask me. Okay. Okay. So there is no example that we can give, right? There is another already one test case given to us like this, and there is an example given to us. So if 6 line is there, then it will be similar, and at the end 1 2 3 4 5 6 will be printed. Okay, so let us write the algorithm for this code, for this problem that we have in hand. Okay, so think about the algorithm. You think by yourself. Explain problem statement. Explain problem statement. Problem statement says that, see, try to read the problem statement. Okay, given a positive integer n, so we will be given with a positive integer n, suppose 3. So if 3 is given, we'll have to print like this: 1 1 2 1 2 3. See here what is done. In first line only 1 is printed, in second line 1 2 is printed, in third line 1 2 3 is printed. Can you see a pattern? Similarly here, when n is 5, see here, in first line 1 is printed, in second line 1 2 is printed, in third line 1 2 3 is printed. So depending on number of lines, number of letters are printed, number of numbers are printed actually. In fifth line 1 to 4, if it is 6, and it will have to start from 1 and print till 6. While we will take 2 for we'll see there. Yes, we'll come there. How to solve, we'll see there. Okay, nested loops. Yes, again tell me, is it clear now? Problem statement, does it make sense? So basically somebody is giving you a number, and then you need to design a pattern for them. Okay, how it designed, what is the pattern looks here, that depending on the number of lines, we are printing the numbers. In first line we are printing 1, in second line we are printing 1 2, in third line we are printing 1 2 3, in third line printing 1 2 3, fourth line 1 2 4, like this, right? Please explain again. What I should explain? So input, from input 5 we will read what? We will read an integer. Okay, and depending on the integer we will draw this pattern. This is a pattern that we'll have to draw. What is this pattern? What I understand from pattern, so line number 1, this is line number 1, output line number 1, right? This is output that we are seeing, right? So output will be what? First line is what? 1. Second line is break, then third line is again 1 2, depending on line I am printing, then 1 2 3, line number 3. Similarly here n is 5, so line number 1 is 1 space, then line number 1 2, then 1 2, like this I am printing, right? Can we use break and continue statement? Break and continue, that will be little bit break and continue. In a single loop it won't be possible. I'll come there. How to do it, we'll do it together. We'll try to understand what we can use. Okay, we'll try to understand that. Is the problem statement clear? I got messages in chat that problem statement itself is not clear. Are you able to understand the problem statement? First tell me. Is it clear, guys? The problem statement. Whoever asked me to repeat the problem statement, is it clear to you? Please respond. Okay, so we'll go ahead and write the algorithm. Okay, so let us write the algorithm. What should we do first? Read the line, number of line. Read the number of line, right? What is this integer? What is the first integer donates? Given the integer n, generate the following format. Okay, not a number of line, read the integer. Basically integer is given to us, so read the integer, right? Do you all agree? Read the integer, right? And second is, depending on integer, we need to print integer value. We need to print the pattern. Not much of an algorithm is also there, right? We do not have much of an algorithm. Simply we need to read the line and then draw the pattern. How to draw the pattern? We'll see that. So pattern.js. Okay. Okay. Is it clear now? Sir, please repeat again because my net was lagging. Okay. So see, we have a question in front of us. We have a question in front of us. What it says? It says that given an integer, positive integer n, so we will be given with a positive integer. Okay. Positive integer will be given to us. Now generate the following format. Depending on the value of integer, depending on the format of the integer, we will have to generate this format. What is this format? So what it seems to me is for line number 1, we'll have to print 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3. There is another example which says that if the input is 5, then we'll have to generate like this. So 1 is for first line, 1, 2 for second line, 1, 2, 3 for third line, 1, 2, 3, 4 for fourth line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for fifth line. This is which topic I'm discussing because I'm just joined. Which is similar to something related to loops. Okay, we are a little bit more about loops. Is it clear now, Harshit? Is it clear now? Okay, so as you understand, this problem doesn't have much of an algorithm to write. So this is the question, this is the input, and this is what expected. So basically we'll have to read the integer, and then somehow with the help of loops we'll have to design the pattern. Okay, should I go ahead and try to convert the algorithm into code? Is it clear till now, till algorithm? Is it clear? Okay, so let us go and convert this into code. Give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so first thing that we need to do is copy the read line code, right? Copy the read line code. Copy the read line code so that we can read the integer, right? Copy the read line code so that we can read the integer. So I copied it. Now what I can do is I can declare a variable, let num is equal to read line. So once I read the value, it will be a string. I need a number, so convert it into convert it into an integer, right? So I'll convert this into a integer. Now I have the number. Now look at the pattern. Try to understand the pattern. Okay, in first line, depending on lines, the value is changing. So how to print 1, 2, 3, 4? If I want to print this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, how I can do that? Tell me. I basically need to write a loop. Let I is equal to 1. I is less than equal to what? And num I plus plus, right? I plus plus, and here I can say console.log what? Console.log I, right? This is what I can do. So depending on the value of n, I will end up printing 1, 2, 3, 1, either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, right? So let me change my input and make it 5. Make it 5 right now. Okay. For I in range 1 to 6. No, range is not something. Input range is not required here. So input file is fixed. Let me run the program. Let me run my program. Try to see here what happens. Think about it, okay? Node pattern input is input 3, right? Input 3.txt. See, when I do this, it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only, right? So when I make the input to 2, when I make the input to 2, what happens now? What happens now? It prints 1, 2. If I make the input 3, what happens? See what happens? it writes 1, 2, 3. Are you getting? So with the n, I'm able to print the numbers. But if you see the question, if you see the problem, it asks us to do it repeated times. It asks us to do it repeated times, right? It asks us to do for the repeated times. Are you getting it? So what should I do? Tell me, what do you think? What should I do? What should I add this to do this? I am doing a repeated task and I need to do this task repeatedly again, right? I need to do this task repeatedly again. So basically, I'll have to use a for loop, which will tell how many times I need to do this, right? Which will tell me how many times I need to do this. So it's like, think about it. Whatever I'm doing here, I need to do it for more number of times. So let me use a for loop. Another variable, let j is equal to 1 and j is less than equal to num. Okay, j is equal to num. Now what happens? Now what happens? Now see here, whatever I'm doing here, this one is done for, so this loop is done for n number of times. Now, what do you think? What will be the output of the program? Basically, whatever I will read, suppose I read 3. So earlier, what is the output? 1, 2, 3. But now 1, 2, 3 will be printed multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Let me run the program. Okay. Let me run the program and see what happens now. See, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Basically, 1, 2, 3 is printing 3 times equal to number. Do we want that? Do we want that? No, right? We want to print 1, 2, 3 depending on the number of lines. Depending on the lines, we need to print that. So tell me which integer is denoting line here? Which integer is denoting line here? Tell me which integer is denoting line here? Num is denoting the line, right? Num is telling us how many times I need to repeat this. So this represents the number. So j represents the number. So depending on what line it is, if it is line number 1, I need to print only once. So this loop should run once for line number 1. This loop should run twice for line number 2. This loop should run thrice for line number 3. Do you agree? Do you agree with that? The inner loop or the nested loop should run for same number of times as the line number, and j is representing the line number, isn't it? Confusing? Yes, I'll explain again. It's like earlier what we were doing. Okay, let me rub this. Earlier what we were doing. Try to focus. Okay. Earlier what we were doing. We were reading an integer and simply printing from 1 to that number, right? So which numbers we are taking as input? Num is the input, right? Here input is 3. I'm reading from a file. Num is the input. This num variable is holding the input 3. Are you getting it, Raj? Yes. So when I was doing this, what I was doing? I was simply printing from 1 to the number itself. But I need to do this for multiple times. How many times? Num times 3 times. Basically, the number, depending on the number. See here, see the pattern. How many lines are printed? If line is 3, how many types are printed? 3 lines are printed. If 5, then how many times this pattern is printed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it is printed, right? Are you able to get me? Are you following me? So basically, whatever we are doing here has to be done again, same number of times, n number of times, right? So I'll close this loop. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not see there, but I will have to do this. I'll have to do this one more time. So I'll have to use a different variable. Why same variable? If I use the same variable, then when I go inside, it will be altered. It will be assigned a different value. So I should use a different variable. These are two different kind of value I am triggering. So I should use a different variable. Okay. So whatever I am doing here, I should do it twice. I should do it twice. Twice, no, the number of n. Now, this for loop should run. If I run this program now, it prints 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 times, right? You put a new line here, console.log empty string. Let us see what happens. So now it prints like this, right? Oh, one extra, yes. Right? Now it's okay, 3 times. But when n is equal to 3, our program should print like this 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So depending on line, this loop should stop where the line number is. And what is line number here? J is representing the line number. So instead of running till n, I should make it run till j. So if I do this, see what happens. Are you able to get the value? Are we able to get the value? Can we explain how both for loop works at a time? Yes, I'll dry run this. Let me dry run this, okay? Yes, I'll dry run this multiple times so that everything clarifies with you. Okay. So let me point out this, okay? Comment this. Okay. So let me dry run, okay? Please concentrate here. Explain line number 65. I'll explain each and every line. So I come here, I read the input line. What is the input file? What is the value in the input file? 3, right? So I come here and read. So num is equal to 3. Do you all agree num is equal to 3? Right? Num is equal to 3. Give me +1 if you agree this is num is equal to 3. Yes. Yes. Then I come here, I start a loop. I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1, j is equal to num, j plus plus. So whatever is present inside this will run for how many times? Tell me. Will run for how many times? Whatever present inside this loop will run for 3 times, right? Will run for 3 times. Okay. Now I come here, my j value is what? J is equal to 1, right? I come here, I start another loop. When I start another loop, my I value becomes 1. Right now, at line number 65, what is the value of j? Till right now, at line number 65, what is the value of j? Tell me, what is the value of j? 1. Do you all agree? Till now, the value of j is 1. We are still inside the body of the loop. Once we complete the body of the loop, then value of j will increment, right? So right now, value of j is 1. So I come here and check I is equal to 1. I is less than equal to j. Is this condition true? 1 is less than equal to 1. Is this condition true? True, right? So this condition will hold true. Okay. This condition will hold true. I come here, I go inside the for loop, I print I. What is the value of I? I is 1. So I end up printing 1. Do you agree? I end up printing 1. Then I go ahead and increment the value of I to 2. Then I go ahead. See here, after this loop is completed, I am not going to console. I need to finish this loop. All till this condition is true. Till this condition is true, I have to run this loop. So basically for j is equal to 1, this loop will completely run. Similarly, for j is equal to 2, this loop will completely run. right? He is the second person. If every action he takes, for every value of this loops runs completely till the condition is false. So why we are taking I is equal to 1? As first we already taken j is equal to 1. J and I are two different variables, right? J is a different variable, I is a different variable. This loop is different. I need to use this loop to count something. I need this loop to count something, iteration value, right? I cannot use a single variable. It's like you need to do what? I'll tell you an example, okay? You have 5 balls, okay? You have 5 balls and every ball, you have 5 buckets and every bucket has some number of balls. It can have 2, it can have 5, it can have 10, some number of balls, okay? Working as a new line, console, I'll come there. I have not come there. Just concentrate on one of the example, okay? So you have 5 buckets and every bucket have some number of balls. Now you need to count the number of buckets and number of balls. So what we will do? Tell me what you will do. You will go to first bucket and then start counting on the number of balls in that bucket, right? First you will go to the bucket and then please concentrate on the example. I'll relate the example with the problem, okay? It will make us easy to understand. So I have some n number of buckets and in every bucket we have m numbers of balls. So if I take another file, our thing is I have n numbers of n buckets and every bucket has m balls, okay? So to go to every bucket, what should I do? Tell me. To go to every bucket counting, what should I do? I should run a for loop for let I is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. Now when I do this, I go for each bucket. This will help me go through each bucket, right? This will help me go through each bucket. Do you agree? Do you agree? This will help me go through each bucket. So I'll go to the first bucket. I is equal to 1. I'll go to first bucket. I is equal to, I'll go to second bucket. I is equal to 3. I'll go to second bucket. I'll go to second bucket, right? Do you agree? Now I need to inside this bucket. When I'm inside this bucket, first bucket, I'll have to count the number of balls in the present, right? Number of balls present in the bucket. How to do that? Basically, I'll use another loop to count the number of balls in that, right? So I'll say, okay, use another counter. Can I use I here? If I use I here, I will lose the count of the bucket, isn't it? If I use the same variable I to store the number of balls, I will miss the counter of the bucket. So suppose there is a board. It's a game. Suppose it's a board, and we have two variables. One says which bucket, and one says how many balls, right? So it's like, let me start a new WordPad. Give me a second. Can you see a white WordPad document? Can you see a WordPad document? Give me +1 if you can see a WordPad document, right? Okay. So I have 2 buckets with me, okay? I have 2 fields here, 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. This counts what? This counts bucket count and this counts balls count. So how the scoring will be done? I'll go to the first bucket. So I'll say here bucket 1, right? I'll say bucket 1 and start counting the balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose 4 buckets are there. So I'll use 4 here. Can I use the same variable? Can I use the same variable here? Store 4 here. Then I'll lose the number of buckets I'm working on, right? So that's why I need 2 variables. One variable, this might be equal to this here is J for us, and this one is I for us. J is doing what? J is telling me how many times I have printed the pattern, and I is telling me how many times I need to print the number. Try to compare that. When I complete the bucket 1, basically I go to the bucket 2. So I'll mark another variable, or basically I'll increment the bucket variable to 2, and next I'll again start searching for balls, right? How many balls I have found? I have already counted the ball 1, so it may contain 5 balls, right? So this tells me how many times, how many buckets I have gone through, and this tell me in each bucket how many balls I have found. Are you able to relate? Are you able to relate here? So similarly, in our problem here, what is happening is the J is acting as the count for the number of lines we are printing. So this tells me how many lines I have covered. And in each line, what I'm doing, I'm printing the value of I. I'm printing the value of I. Value of I starts from 1 to, this is count of ball, 1 to J. Every bucket, suppose every bucket says first bucket has 1 ball, second bottle has 2 balls, third bucket has 3 balls, fourth bucket has 4 balls, 5 bucket has 5 balls, like that. Are you getting it? So basically the operation to count the balls has to be repeated for every bucket. So basically the operation to print 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever has to be repeated for every line. Are you able to relate? Are you with me? Give me +1 if you are with me. If confusion, +2. I will repeat again anyways, even if you don't give me +2. Yes, I got 1 + 2. Yes, I'll repeat. So try to relate the problem with the bucket problem. Okay. In the bucket, I need to count the balls, number of balls present in the bucket for every bucket. Do you agree? Do you agree? I will have to count the number of balls for every bucket. And counting the ball itself is a loop, requires a loop. Or I'll give you another example. Okay. So suppose we have staircase, right? We have staircase at home, or a staircase at school or college, whatever, wherever. Suppose you need to write 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, depending on the stairs as you climb. So first step in the staircase, when you are at the bottom, first step of the staircase, you write 1. Second step of the staircase, you write 2. 1, 2. Third step of the staircase, you write 1, 2, 3. Can you visualize the problem? So what you are doing, when you are step 1, you are writing 1. When you are step 2, you are writing 1, 2. So when you are stopping, the writing of 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, how it is decided? Decided on the number of steps you are there on the staircase. If you are at step 1, you are writing 1. Why you are stopping at 1 while writing? Tell me why you are stopping at 1? Because this is your pattern. At step 1, I'll have to write 1. Step 2, I'll have to write 1 and 2. So how you decide where to stop? Depending on the number of steps, which step you are on the staircase. Are you able to relate this? Are you able to relate this? Depending on the step, on which step you are on the staircase, basically you are writing 1. If it is first step, it is second step, you are writing 1, 2. If it is fifth step, you are writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically you are stopping when, depending on the which step you are there. So to write 1, to write 1, 2, to write 1, 2, 3, basically this is a repeated step, right? What you are doing, you are writing in programming type, what you are doing, you are outputting 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. So this output has to be done in a loop. So what we do, this for loop is doing that. It's printing the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 till the step is there. J is what? J is a step here. J is telling me what? If J is equal to 1, basically I'm at the bottom of the staircase and I am at the first step. When I am at the first step, I should write 1, 2, 1. So how to run this loop? start from 1 and end depending on the steps you are. If you are the first step, you should write only 1. So basically it will stop at 1. So here, when j is equal to 1, I come here, I is equal to 1, I print I go there, I is equal to 2, and when I compare, I is less than equal to 0. So what is the comparison? What is j value here? J is 1, right? Tell me, j is 1, right? And y is 2. So this condition is false. This condition is false. So what I have written till now, what as an output, what I have written till now? Tell me, as an output, what I have written? I have written 1, right? My first iteration of this loop is complete. This condition is false. As a result, I come here. When I come here, I basically change the line, right? I change the line. Do you agree? I need to go to the next step. When j is equal to 2, I need to go to the next step. Step 2, right? That's why this console is there. If this console is not there, then see in earlier examples, there was no space here. After 1, 2, 3, there were no space here. I needed a space here. As a result, I put this new, not a space, basically a new line here. So this is helping me put a new line after every step. So this differentiate between the steps. If I take I less than equal to 1, 0 or 1, then what? No, less than 0 and 1 every, do you need to print 1 every time? No, right? So if I take 1 here, see what is the difference? If I take 1 here, ठीक है, पहले बार तो हो गया, first time it worked, I was able to print 1. Next iteration, when j is equal to, I come here, I say I is equal, again this iteration starts from 1, I is equal to 1, I is less than 1, right? I is less than 1, sorry, this was n, this was num, this was n, right? This was 1 you are talking about. This was what you are talking about, 1. So what happens? I is equal to 1. This condition holds true. I end up printing 1 again. And then this condition holds false, right? But I want to print 2 also because it is step number 2. 1 is, so if I print 1 here, what will happen? It will print 1 first time. Suppose I am printing j here. People are asking what happens if I print. Achha, let me dry run this. Then we'll understand why if we print j, what happens, okay? So let me dry run this first. So I have num is equal to, j is equal to 2. For j is equal to 2, I come here. Right now, let me have j here, okay? So if j is here, what I do? I is equal to 1. 1 is less than equal to 2. Yes, I come here, I print 1. Then I go again in the loop, I becomes 2. What is j right now? What is j right now for the second iteration? J is 2. J is 2, right? So for j is equal to 2, this loop again runs. 2 is equal to 2. So I end up printing I, which is 2 again. I end up printing I, which is 2 again, right? Which is 2 again. Then I go ahead and increment the value of I is equal to 3. This time this condition is false. Why? Because j is 2. 3 is not less than j. 3 is not less than equal to 2. So this for loop, we come out of this for loop. As a result, we print a new line. Again, once I print this, I go here and increment the j value to 3. I check the value, j is less than equal to num. Yes, j is less than equal to 3 is less than equal to 3. So I come here, I start my loop again. This loop again. See here, this loop is starting from beginning for every value of I. Okay. So I come here, I start I is equal to 1, I is less than j. Yes, 1 is less than equal to 3. So I come here, I print 1. So I come here and I print 1. Okay. Then I come, increment the value 2. I come here, 2 is less than equal to 3. Yes. So I print 2. I print 2. Then I come here, make it 3. Is I less than equal to j? Yes, 3 is less than equal to j. So I print 3. Here. Okay. Then I come here, I increment the I to 4 and see. Okay, 4 is less than equal to 3. No. So this for loop ends. This for loop breaks. When this for loop breaks, we come here and we print a new line, and then we come here and increment the value to 4. Here I come. J is less than equal to 3? No, J is 4. This condition false and we come out and break up the program. So what we ended up printing it? What we ended up printing? How can I print like this? So simple. In that case, you run this. So depending on does 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is fixed, right? 1, 2, 3 is fixed. So make this J is equal to num. Acha, in a single same line, 1, 2, 3 in the same line. We'll come there. We'll come there. Give us a minute. Okay, now people, there was a question. What happens if I put J here? Let me dry run when I put J here. Okay, let me dry run this code when we print J here. So what happens? I is equal to 1. This is nothing. So J is equal to 1. I come here. I start with 1. I come here. I print J. What is J now? J is 1, right? J is 1. For second, I is less than equal to 1? No. So I break the loop and I come to the third line. I come here. J is equal to 2. I come here. I start loop from 1. 1. 2 is less than 1. Yes, 2 is less than equal to 1. So I print J. What is J? What is J now? J is 2. So I end up printing 2 here. Okay. I end up printing 2 here. Then again, I go here. I increment I is equal to 2. 2 is less than equal to 2. Yes. So I end up printing J again. What is J again? J is what? J is 2. J is 2, right? J is 2. Now I becomes 3. 3 is less than equal to 2. False. I come here. What it do? It prints empty string. When it prints empty string, basically it changes the line. I go ahead and change the value of I is J is equal to 3. Then again, I start from 1. I come here and print. What I'm printing J. What is the value of J? J is 3. So I end up printing J 3. Again, this will run 3. Again, it will run and print 3. Basically, it will print 3 times, right? Are you getting? When J is there, what will be the value? What will be the pattern? Tell me, guys. Are you able to get it? Is it clear? So hell, not clear. One more time. Okay, I'll try run it one more time. Please try to concentrate. Please try to concentrate. Okay, whoever has not understand, please try to concentrate. And if you are having difficulty, try to visualize the bucket problem every time. Okay, so this is counting, keeping track of the number of buckets we are visiting, and this is counting the or printing the number of balls present in the bucket. For every bucket, for every J, I am counting number of balls. As simple as that. So let me dry run once more again. So I come here, I read the file. What is the file? Input file. What is the input file? Input file is 3. So I come here, I read num will become equal to 3. I come here, I'll run it for I, okay? Original problem. I come here, I is equal to 3. I come here, J is, I start a loop. So J is equal to 1. Condition is true. 1 is less than equal to 3. Condition is true, right? So I come here. Let again I start a for loop. Let I is equal to 1. I is less than equal to J. So J is what? 1. 1 is less than equal to 1? Yes, 1 is less than equal to 1. So what I do? I print I. When I print I, what is the value of I? Value of I is 1. Then I go here and increment the value of I to 2. Increment the value of I to 2. Right? Do you agree? Here I will be incremented to 2. Aswani, Sohel, do you agree? Right? I will be 2. I come here. I compare the condition. 2 is less than equal to 1. Does it holds true? No, right? It will be false. Does it holds true? No, it will be equal to false. Right? As a result, this for loop breaks. Try to understand. This for loop breaks. Breaks means what? We come out of this for loop because the condition is false. I come here and what I do? I execute the next statement. When I execute the next statement, basically I am introducing a new line, an extra new line. I am introducing an extra new line. Why I am introducing this extra new line? Because if I do not introduce a new line, then my pattern will be like this. This space will not be there. This space will not be there. If I not introduce a new line, this space will be not there. So I'll be not be able to understand how this pattern goes ahead. So that's why I have to introduce a new line every time I change, increment the value of j, so that I can clearly understand, okay, this is end of line 1, this is end of line 2, or this is j is equal to 1, this is j is equal to 2, and this is j is equal to 3. Console.log by default introduces a new line. Okay. Console.log by default introduces a new line. So I just have to call with an empty string. As simple as that. Console.log introduces new line by default. Can we write console only? Try it. You can take a space, it doesn't matter, but we do not need a space here. So if we give space in between double quotes, the result gives double space, sir. Okay, let me give a space here. Let's see what happens. Let me run this program. See, no effect, right? Right now it is no effect, but if you actually here space is introduced, right? But since we are not printing anything, we are not able to understand. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Okay, I was dry running this. Let me complete the dry run. So j is equal to 1. I come here, I false, I print 1, I print a new line here. At line number 69, basically I'm changing the line here. Okay. I change the line, I go, j is equal to 2. J is equal to 2. Okay. So I come here, I starts from 1 again. I is equal to 1, I is less than j. Yes, j is 2, so 1 is less than 0. So I end up printing I again. What is I? I is 1. Okay. I is 1. I go ahead, I increment the I value to 2. I come here, 2 is less than equal to 2. Yes, true. 2 is less than equal to 2. Yeah, here. At this condition, 2 is equal to 2. What is I? 2. What is j? 2. So 2 is less than equal to 2. Yes. So I end up printing I again. What is the value of I? I is 2. I is 2. So I end up printing 2 again. Then I go ahead and increment the I to 3. Right? I increment the value to 3. I come here and check my condition. What is the value of j? 2, right? Value of j is still 2. And I is 3. 3 is less than equal to 2? No, it is false. No, it is false, right? As a result, what happens? We come out of this loop and change the line again. So after 2, I again change the line. Empty line is introduced, or a space line is introduced, a line with a space in front, depending on whether you use a line or not. Then j becomes equal to 3. J becomes equal to 3. Right? J becomes equal to 3. Getting it? So I come again, I start I from 1 again. 1. Again, I end up printing 1. I was in new line. I end up printing 1. Then I is equal to 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, I end up printing 2. I end up printing 2. I is equal to 3. I end up printing 3. When I is equal to 4, this condition breaks. 4 is not less than j. So I come here and introduce a new line here like this. Now j value changes. J becomes 4. Right? J becomes 4. I come here. I compare the value. 3 less than 4 less than equal to 3. No. So I come out of this for loop and this program ends here. I get output as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check the second loop you are printing. Here you are not printing till the line number. Is it clear, guys? Give me +1 if you are able to understand this, how this nested for loop works. Clear. Okay. Any doubt? I'll wait for a minute here because it is very important. If you don't understand this, rest of the things you will not understand. So I'll wait here. Any doubt you can ask me. Line number 69. See, line number 69 is doing what? Remove this line number 69. Okay. Let us remove this line number 69 and see the output. See here, what is the output? And try to get it what is happening. See the output. How it looks. Basically, this is line number 1. This is j is equal to 1. This is j is equal to 2. And this is j is equal to 3. But we are not getting a space in between. Basically, after every j, j is equal to 1. After every j, I need to introduce a new line. As a result, I am putting this. So what happens when I put this? What happens? Basically, after this line, I introduce a new line. After j is equal to 2, I introduce a new line. After j is equal to 1 to 3, I introduce a new line. See here. See, after this is j is equal to 1. J is equal to 1, I introduce a new line. When this printing is done, when this for loop is done, I introduce a new line. Basically, a space is introduced here. Is it clear why line number 69 is used? How introducing a new line? Console.log by default introduces a new line. Console.log by default introduces a new line. Okay. What if we print ABC in the pattern? ABC in the pattern means what? So depending on 1, it will be A, 2 will be B, and 3 will be C, like that. So you will have to get the ASCII value of the number and convert it into character and then print it. You try by yourself, okay? Here, instead of I, you should print character, string A, B, C, like that. But how to get a string value? A. So ASCII value has to be converted into a string. Try to do by yourself. If you are not able to do it, ping me over Slack. I'll give you the program, okay? No, it's not possible. Same code cannot give different inputs. Machine is a thing that always follows. It doesn't have anything in his mind. He will behave same for, if the logic is same, he will behave same. There must be something is missing. Yes, console.log prints a new line at the end, always. Yes, it is possible. A, B, A, B, C. Yes, it is possible. I don't know, sir, what is giving different output. Okay, let me see. Let n parse int I is equal to n less than n. For j less than n, I seems correct to me. What is the output you are getting, Rajesh? Okay, so guys, we'll proceed from here. So if you remember, this was the program to find whether a number is prime or not, right? Whether the number was prime or not. Now suppose you want to convert this, read the input from user, like five numbers like 7, 9, 11, 13, 6. Five numbers, and you need to print prime, not prime, prime, not prime. Okay. Output as 1. Please check your program. I'm pasting the code in the chat. Please check your program. It should not behave like this. Please check your program. I'm printing it here. Open the chat, check your program here. Okay, let me remove the comments so that it will become more clear. Compare your program with this one, program in the chat, and try to find out what is wrong. Okay, so I'll give you five minutes, and then we'll do it together. I told you to understand, right? This is the program to run out, find a prime number. How we find it? We get a number, and then run a loop from 2 to number less than a number, and try to find out if anyone divides this number. If the division is, if anyone is able to divide, we say it is a prime or not prime. Basically, this logic has to run for each number, present in the input file. So please try this. Line assistant doesn't require inverted commas inside the braces. Okay, so you are saying like this also works, right? Okay. Yes. So calling console.log itself is introducing a new line. So you do not need to print an empty string. Even calling console.log will give you new line. Okay. Guys, I'll give you 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. We'll do it together from 36. Okay. We'll do it together from 36. Please try this program, prime number program for multiple inputs like this, multiple inputs. If you need to convert this program to calculate prime numbers for 5 numbers. Okay. So please try by yourself. I'll go on mute for some time. Please try by yourself. I'm on mute. Actually, I want you, Nurag, I want you to solve that prime number problem that we did yesterday. We thought, right? If we for one prime number, we did this code, right? And we wanted to do it for all the other prime numbers. Suppose 5 prime numbers are inputted. So how to calculate it for 5 numbers? Try by yourself, and once we do this, I will be doing this pattern too. So this kind of pattern we will do it. Okay. I'll give you 2 more minutes. Then I'll Okay. So let us solve this problem. Not this one, this one. Okay. This is what we wanted to solve, right? So right now it reads for one number, right? Right now it reads for one number, and we need to do this for multiple numbers. So how to do it for multiple numbers? Let us read the number. Read maybe num1 is equal to read line. I need to read it from file, right? I need to read it from file and convert it into a number. Percent. I have the number now, one at a time. Now, basically, we should know how many numbers are there, right? So let us tell me first number be the size of n. First integer donates the size of n. Like suppose 5, okay? So 5, we can do it without that also, but let it be right now 5. 5 will tell us how many times these numbers we'll have to calculate the prime number. Okay. So first one will tell us the number of iteration we need to run. So what I'll do, I'll say for let I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to num1, less than equal to I is equal to 1, and I is less than equal to num1. So basically this tells me for how many numbers I need to run this loop. So I have 5 numbers. So basically I'll have this for 5 numbers. Okay. For every number, what I need to do? I need to read the file, right? So read the file for the number and convert it into a integer. Convert it into an integer. Percent. Once I have the number, I have to do the same thing again and again and again. This will everything below will be same, right? Everything below will be same. Do not need to change. Whatever we are doing, we will do it again for every number. Are you getting what changes I made to convert it into a program which calculates prime number for multiple numbers? Right? Right? Line number 7, let J. Yes, yes. You should use J here. Thank you. J here. It should be J here to count how many times we have run it. Otherwise, it will interfere with I, right? It will interfere with I. Do you agree? Let me run this program. Okay. Let me run this program. Node 88, right? Test 88. Input is input 3. So there is a problem. What is the problem? It says percent read line not defined. Have I? Oh, I have not copied that read line code, right? So let me copy the read line code in this file. Now I have read line. Let me try now. It doesn't print anything. Why? See, it doesn't print anything. Tell me why. Let us see. It comes here. I read num1. I read num1. I read num1, which is 5. So num1 is, so num1 is 5. Here, num1 is 5. Okay, I plus plus I have done. J plus plus it will be, right? So 5. I read number, second read line. So num is what? Second read line. So num is what? Num is 7. Num is 7. So I read 7. I come here, mark is equal to 0. I go let I is equal to 2 less than num minus 1. Yes. So 7, then 7 by 2, mark should be defined. Then I should, mark will become 1. If defined, now it should work. Let us check what happens. Still it doesn't happen. Why? Tell me what error, what mistake I'm making. So it comes here, num is equal to 1, let j is less than this. I come here, it doesn't print anything. Means what? It is breaking, let I is equal to, num. Num is %, right? So num modulus I. It should print, right? Give the value of j. Line 17. Acha, it's not starting. See, this is how you should check program, debug program, what problem you are making. Now it worked, right? So I was writing my first program wrong. So 9 is not a prime number and 6 is not a prime number. So 9 is not a prime number, 6 is not prime number, okay? Now let us go here, this program. I hope you understood this one, right? Prime number program. I did the same thing, just included it in a for loop. Okay, and this number changed by reading the file, and this tell me how many times I need to run the for loop. As simple as that. I'm good to go to here, pattern 2, right? How to print the same line. Repeat, okay. See here, I had this program already. This program was already there, okay? Same program, only difference is I had this instead of this. Instead of this, I had like this. Okay, let num is equal to some number 9. So I had this program already. This line number 19 to 38 was there. We understood yesterday. Are we clear? Are we clear? Line number 19 to 38 was already there. We discussed this program, how to calculate a prime number. Yes. Now there is a change in the program. What is the change in the program? Instead of doing for a single number, I need to do it for input user. User will give me, suppose, a sequence of number. And for all the numbers, like we did for sequence of number, count the number of positive odd numbers, right? Similarly, here you can count the number of prime numbers. Here, instead of printing it prime, you can use a variable to count the prime, right? Here I can check the count prime number variable also. I can say count plus plus and use a count variable here. Then it will give me the count also. Number of prime numbers, right? So what I was doing, now I need to the input file that I had. So this is the input file I had. So first will tell me how many numbers are present in the sequence. So what I did, I read the first number, num1, that is 5, and this tells me how many numbers I need to calculate the prime number. For how many numbers I need to calculate the prime numbers. Is it clear? This loop tells me for how many numbers I need to calculate the prime number. Is it clear? Give me +1 if you understand this loop. This loop tells me for how many numbers I need to calculate whether the number is prime number or not, right? Yes, then 1 to 50. So there is a question on chat box to find how to print all the prime numbers between 1 to 50. I'll convert this program, okay? I'll convert this program to do that. So this tells me how many numbers I need to read. And then when I know for how many numbers I do it, I basically need the number for which I need to calculate the prime number. The number is not fixed. So as a result, I changed line number 20 to 21. Do you agree? Since the number is not fixed, I need to take an input. I have changed line number 20 to 21. Do you understand this? What is the difference between line number 20 and 21? Line number 20 was fixed. Line number 21 was reading from a file. Give me +1 if you understand this. Why I changed line number 20 to 21? Now, once I have, rest of the things are same. Rest of the things are same. This remains the same. I didn't change anything. Okay. Now, people were asking how to calculate the prime number for 1 to 50. All the prime numbers between 1 to 50. You print it here. You change it to run to till 50. All the 50 numbers. You do not need a read line now. You do not need a read line now. Okay. You are not reading it from file. You are directly printing from 1 to 50, right? Or here, this number will be start from 1 is not calculated as prime, even 2 is not calculated as prime. So start from 3, okay? And change this to J. And here, instead of printing the number prime, you print the J, whether J is prime or not. And you run this program. Simple as that. What is the problem? Stat. Where is the stat? Print J. I made some on reading 1. So I made some problem, some error. J is equal to 3. J is less than num is equal to J. Print J. Right? Where is the problem? What it is saying, cannot read properties of undefined variable. Which is undefined variable? J is undefined variable. Now, semicolon is missing. Where semicolon is missing? Here, semicolon is missing. Yes. Again, problem. It will work like that. I'm missing something as a result. I want to cover this program. That's why I'm in a hurry to cover this. What I'm missing, typer cannot read properties of undefined variable reading 1. Semicolon, mark, let J, num is equal to J, I is equal to this. So if I remove this, will it work? Here I'm making mistake. Am I making mistake here? No, this was not the problem. So where is the problem? There is a for loop. For loop is writing here. Am I directly running for loop? Count is equal to 0. Increment the count. Is it this is the problem? It is not allowing me. Count plus. Then print it. Let me run first. Acha, I'm giving input or what? No, I'm not giving input. Am I calling read line somewhere? No. Read line is not called. Okay, I'll debug this problem after some time. Read line was creating problem. Huh? Now it is printing. See, not prime, should not print anything. Print empty. Read line code was creating issue. Okay. So all the prime numbers are getting printed here. Okay. Is it clear? I'll not waste more time here. Okay, I'll go to this pattern 2. I need to cover this. We have 10 minutes left. Okay. So tell me how to change this program. I'll copy this program. Okay, I'll copy this program and we will change this program to print pattern 2. I'm not going through the conventional way to write the algorithm and everything. We know the algorithm. I'll directly write this code and copy the read line. Copy the read line here. Tell me what changes I should make here to print it 1, 2, 3. See, when for this pattern, for this print and when we are printing, what we need to change? Tell me what we need to change. Line number 1 will be printed like that. Line number 2 will be printed like 1, 2, right? Instead of 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3. This new line was not introduced, isn't it? I can convert this into a pattern like this. Do you agree? I can convert this like this pattern if I don't print a space here. Do you all agree? This can be got if there is no space in between, right? So first thing, I don't need this one. Do you agree? I don't need line number 46. Do you all agree? I do not need line number 46 because I do not have space between lines. I do not have space between the lines. Do you agree? Any doubt here? Line number 46 is not required in this program, right? Now there is a problem. Problem is what? Console.log always print what? Console.log always print what? New line. Console.log always print new line, isn't it? So when it prints 1, it prints a new line. So basically I'll end up 1 and then I'll end up printing 1 and then in line number 2 I'll end up printing 1 and 2, but I do not need a new line here, right? I do not need a new line here. Somebody is saying end is equal to double quotes. End is equal to double quotes won't work here. Let me check. This will not work here. That is in Python print. It doesn't recognize as end. Okay. Yes, end will not work here. So instead of printing it here, basically we'll use a string. We'll use a string. Let string or pattern pat and put it as a empty string. Okay. And here what we'll do, we'll append the lines. Okay. Here we'll say pat is equal to pat plus I. I'll dry run this code and you will understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing. So once we come out of the loop, we'll simply print the pat. And for every new line, we need to make it again empty string. I'll dry run and you will understand why it is required. Okay. Let me run this and then we will dry run. Node pattern 2 input 3. Input 3 is what? Let me keep it 5. Let me try this. Okay, let us do what, sir? It's showing like this. What if we want to print integer value, not string? That can be done, but not using console.log. When we will teach you different way of printing other than console, then you can do it via that. Okay. Console.log will not be able to do it. When we will do it for using a different method, there are different methods to print actually output, but console.log prints a new line every time. There are other methods also. They will be able to print you like that. Why is showing like this? 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Why is showing like this? It is what is expected, right? Let me dry run this. Please follow me. Let us dry run this. I read the first line. What is the first line? 5 is the first line, right? I read the first line. I read the first line. So my num becomes 5. Num becomes 5. Okay. I come here. J is equal to 1. Right? J is equal to 1. I come here. I say J is equal to I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. Okay. I come here. What is where I am? Sorry, I am in the wrong place. Here I should go. J is equal to sorry, num is equal to 5 and J is equal to 1. I come here, I is equal to 1. I come here, I is less than J, less than equal to J. Yes, 1 is less than equal to J. So I come here, I say pat plus 1. What is pat right now? Pat is empty string plus 1. So basically it else into 1 like this, like string. So I'm getting a string, right? Is it different? This is a different problem? Yes, this is a different problem. This is a different problem. See, the pattern has changed. The pattern has changed. Are you able to follow? Are you not able to follow? This is a different problem. Pattern has changed, right? Give me +1 if you are able to follow me. This is a new problem, right? Yes. So I come here, my string becomes pat becomes 1, right? I go here, I becomes equal to 2. When I becomes equal to 2, what I do? When I becomes equal to 2, what I do? 2 is less than equal to no, we break. So what we do? We print 1, right? 1 as a string, we print 1. Then I come here, print 1 and make the pat 0 null again. Make the pat variable null again. Then I come here, J is equal to 2. I come here, I starts from 1. I come here, what is the value of pat? Null, right? So +1, it gives me string 1. I increment the value to 2. J2 is less than equal to 2. Yes, 2 is less than equal to 2, right? 2 is less than equal to 2. So what happens? I come here, I add 2 here plus 2. So what does it yields? It yields 1, 2 in a string. 1, 2 in a string, right? I come here, I becomes 3. 3 is less than equal to 2. No, I come here, I print 1, 2 and then make the pat null again. So pat will again become empty string. Pat will again become empty string. And J will start from J is equal to 3 and J will start from 1 again. Sir, we can write pat is equal to pat plus I plus string. Empty string, that can also, but can I use pat is equal to this inside the first loop? Yes. Instead of this, you can directly use here. You can directly use here. In that case, this one is not required. This line is not required. Okay. So if you move line number 39 to 42, then line number 49 is not required. So for I is equal to 1, again I is added to 1. Then I is equal to 2, again 2 is added here. Then I is equal to 3. I is equal to becomes 3. Where I am. Then I becomes 3. As a result, this pat becomes 1, 2, 3. Then we come here, we print 1, 2, 3. We print 1, 2, 3. And then here we define the variable again. I come here, again starts for J is equal to 4. This repeats, right? So 4, it becomes 4. And we print at the end 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this, it continues. Pat is just a variable, okay? This is just a variable name. You can name it anything. What do you want to name it? Temp variable, you can say temp. Temp variable. I'm just using it to not print new line. See here, why I'm using it, why I'm using this is console.log by default prints. Console.log by default prints new line. There is a difficult way to see here. When I go to console.log, what it says? Where is it? A new line is introduced by default. It will say a new line is introduced by default. See here. Print to std out with new line. Okay, with new line. The new line is always there. So to mitigate this problem, I am using a string to print the pattern in a single line. If I use console.log directly to print, basically I'll end up printing 1, 2, 3 in the new lines. So if you want to press space or comma in output, then what changes is required? Space or comma. Where you want the space? Where you want the space in between 1, 2, 3? Then while constituting this temp, you add a space here. So here you add a space plus space. See? Is it clear, guys? Are you able to understand? Any doubt you can ask me? I changed the same program to print a different pattern. As simple as that. Any method to print single line? Yes, there is, but we have not introduced till now. See, there was a question on chat. Why is there any other method to print without a space? Yes, there is. But since I have not introduced that, I'm not using it. I'm directly using console log, which we were using, but with a little bit difference, little bit trick to print it in a single line. Okay. How this space come in between? Because I added this line. See here. I added the space here. That's why. So basically it will be added like this. It will be added like this. Is it clear? Give me +1 if you understand. Give me +1, guys. One more time. I quickly explain one more time, okay? So here I needed to print in a single line. I do not need to print like this. Do I need to print like this? No, right? I need to print 1, 2, 3 in a single line. How to print? And here I was printed for multiple times, right? So basically, instead of printing directly I, till the new line is introduced, I form a string. And finally, when I came out of it, I printed the string instead of printing the I every time. This is the only difference that I have introduced. This is the only difference I have introduced. If I do not use this, then it will become like previous one. Then it will become like previous one, where each value was printed in a new line, like this. 1 for the next line, 1 and 2. I do not want this to be in a separate line, 1, 2, and 3. I do not like this. I do not want a space in between, right? I do not want a new line in between here. So to do that, what I did, I form a string instead of printing I directly. Why I'm doing this? Because console.log, when it prints I, it by default introduce a new line. By default, it introduces a new line, right? So I do not want that, right? Are you able to get it? While dry running, I'm getting it, but how can I get the logic when a new question comes? You have to think. So for outer loop is for line, every line what I need to do. This line decides in each line what you are doing, in each line what you are doing. Little bit logic you'll have to think about it. This is a real life problem. You can think it as a real life problem and try to solve it when a new problem comes. Okay. Okay, guys, we have consumed our allocated time. Please ping me if any doubt. I'll be available tomorrow evening. I'll be available on chat on Slack. So ping me. Any doubt, I'll be there to clarify. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the class. This was addition from the previous one. We solved prime numbers also. How to solve multiple prime numbers and nested loop. Always remember, prime numbers can be called. Yes, tomorrow is the testing. Prime numbers loops, any For loop can be called inside a for loop, while loop can be called inside a for loop, and nested can be twice, thrice, as many as possible. Okay. Whatever we have discussed will exam pattern things will come from there only. Okay, similar but little bit different. Okay, bye everyone. Best of luck for tomorrow exam. Okay, bye.